and welcome back to my channel here at The Craft of Living. Thank you for joining me again for this very potent time of the year with this Lionsgate portal opening. I have here today a general read for the collective. We are going to focus on some energies here. I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown of everything I've learned on the Lionsgate opening. I usually do these every year. I usually do the Lionsgate opening every year, and we do a little reading on the collective to see where we might be focusing our energies right now. So with a little information about the energies that are happening today, or actually it's the Lionsgate opening happens from the July 28th to August 8th. August 8th being the peak of these energies. And as always, this Lionsgate opening is they call it a portal, they call it a thinning of veils, but it really is an easier time with less resistance to work with these higher vibrational energies. So we also have a full moon in Aquarius, I think August 1st, which is today. So depending on where you are at in the world, it may have started yesterday on the 31st, but the full moon energies go for a week prior and a week after the full moon. And there's actually going to be 3 big full moon events this year. I mean, this month alone, guys, 3 big full moon, 3 moon events this month, 3 moon events this month. That's crazy. That also means there's 2 full moons during the month of August, which makes the second full moon a blue moon. And that's very rare. I think the last blue moon or the 2 full moons we had in August was in 2020. So this is some major time for letting go of those old patterns, those old thoughts. Now, I know that you're not in the same place that you were last year, Lionsgate opening, and this year you've advanced quite nicely. Now, there's always more to go, there's always more to grow, so we're asking today, what do we as humans need to focus on to utilize these energies of the Lionsgate opening for our greatest and highest good? I will repeat that question to kind of let it sink into the subconscious before I move on. But to talk a little bit more about the specs of this full moon month we're going through, the 23rd, Mercury goes into retrograde. So here we go with communication again, guys. Watch out on the 23rd. Don't be starting new projects. Don't be signing any contracts. Don't be entering any wedding vows. Hold off on all of that. When Mercury goes retrograde, use that time to get clear on your intentions and what you want, and letting go and the shedding of the old yous that you're wanting to leave behind. So Virgo is also, the energies with Virgo are service to others. So if you find yourself stuck in a rut, helping others might be a way to move you out of that situation. So the energies around this time period right now with the Lionsgate opening is healing of the heart energies. So it's having that warm heart with that Leo and that Lion, and the cool head with the Aquarius. The Aquarius has the cool, calm head. It's mixing logic and intuition and finding that balance. It's persistence through challenge. When you've given your all and it's something that you really have to do, and you have that fire of passion burning within you. It's like a labor of love, and you're not going to give up despite the challenges that are coming your way, because you know it's a worthy cause, especially when it's a worthy cause. So while I'm blabbing, I'm just letting you look at my crystals, because I understand that looking at cards in my hands is kind of very boring. But this is very important information before we proceed with this reading today. So intentions would be just letting go and shifting into fuller aspects of yourself to integrate more fully the head and the heart, and to possibly enter into a positive, higher frequency dimensional shift. So I love Lionsgate opening. Lions are one of my personal totems that I was told to by my spirit guides a long, long time ago. And if you guys are interested in hearing that story, I would love to share. Leave comments down below if that's something you'd like to know on how to get your spirit totem, how to talk to your subconscious, how to talk to your guides. I can tell you what I did and how I got my answer of one of my spirit totems. My spirit totem is a lion, and I have given him the name Mudzizisi. It is a language in Shona, which means teacher. And that name was also, he gave me the feeling of what he wanted to be named in a dream also. And so I call him Mudzi for short. So I didn't think of a better time to share this little piece of information with you than on the Lion's Gate opening. But that is a little tidbit for you guys. So I will be reading today with 3 decks. We will be using our This Just In, the Moonchild Tarot, and This Just In, the Green Glyphs Oracle. Green Glyphs Oracle by James R. Eads. As well as, I feel we can't have a Lion's Gate opening without the Animal Spirit deck. So I really, really love this deck. Very, very potent and powerful messages in here. So we will be adding that to our read today. But without further ado, let's get started. Thanks for hanging in there for this 5-6 minute intro. And we're just gonna take in a deep breath collectively as we center and find ourselves. And we are asking Spirit, we are asking Planet Lyra, if you believe in such a thing, and our guides and angels, what do we need to focus on to utilize these energies, these powerful energies of the Lion's Gate opening for our greatest and highest good? What can we be focusing? So we'll start here with the tarot. And we have the High Priestess in the reverse. We have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the King of Wands in reverse. And we have the 8 of Pentacles. Right side up, yay! So I just want to unpack this a little bit. Every single tarot card has quite a bit to unpack. So, and then we will tie these in as we move through this reading in a little bit. But right off the bat, whenever I see a lot of reversals, it tells me there's some inner work that needs to be done. There's some work below the surface that needs to be done. There's some work in the spiritual or the energetic realm, not necessarily in the physical realm, but in those subtle energy realms within you, in your emotional realm, in your subconscious realm, those subtler, smaller, I don't want to say smaller energies, but those other energies that are usually internal are needing more work right now. So with the High Priestess in reverse in regards to our question of what do we need to focus on in order to utilize these energies of the Lion's Gate for our greatest good? The High Priestess coming up in reverse here explains to me that there's a hesitancy in trusting our intuition. We get hunches, we get hits, and then we second guess ourselves, and then we doubt ourselves, and then we look outside of ourselves in the world and we say, oh, but that person's not doing it. My thing must be so off because it's not what anybody else is doing. And so you kind of second guess yourself when you get these intuitive hits. You're getting the hits, you're maybe not acknowledging them, or you're choosing to ignore them, or maybe you aren't able to really differentiate when your ego is talking and when your higher self is talking. I know that is one of my challenges, and what I'm currently working on is, please, Divine Spirit, let me know the difference between when I'm having a thought that comes from my ego and when I'm having a thought that comes from my divine self. And most people say, oh, you can feel it. But if you have been overly identified with ego for pretty much most of your life, probably without even really knowing what ego is except for a self-centered person, you would really have no idea that 98% of your thoughts are egoic. What do I mean by egoic? Does that mean like I'm always thinking about myself? No, it comes from a false place of protection. It says, no, you can't get a new job. The one you have is good, it pays, it provides, it's consistent, it feeds your family. Why are you gonna ruffle feathers? Your ego keeps you in place because it wants you to be safe. It actually doesn't want to sabotage you. But when you are based only in logic, which the ego kind of is, you get yourself stuck because you allow no room for creativity or the expansive energies that you just don't have access to anymore because you've limited yourself to just logic and reason, which is very wonderful. But as we're talking about these energies in Aquarius, Aquarius is that cool, calm, cool, and collected type of mentality. And then you have the energy of the lion and the lion's gate opening, which is that harsh, that fierce passion, Leo energy. And that's heart energy. And you're combining the two to create great coherence. Coherence is a word that's been thrown out a lot around these spiritual days, and it's really a powerful word because when you get to a place of coherence, you are raising your vibration to a higher level. So this high priestess tells me that we have a little bit of work to do in the intuition department. So she says you're feeling swayed by outside influences, society, circumstances, friends, and family. You are being called to draw your energy inwards and focus on what your intuition is telling you and what is right for you. Because when we're not listening to our intuition and we're instead listening to what we think we should be doing, by the way, should is a word that operates on someone else's sovereignty. That one took me a little bit to sink in, so I'll just say it again. Should is a word that operates on somebody else's sovereignty. And that is completely true. Think about changing your words and being very conscious of your words. So shoulds you would want to change to would, right? Because when it's a should in your life, it's something that you actually want to do, but maybe you don't want to do it right then. Like, I should do the laundry. Actually, what you maybe would be a more clear depiction of that would be, I know I want to do the laundry, just not right now. Because that's the truth of it. But when you put I should do the laundry, there's even more resistance. You're like, no, I really don't want to do it now. But when you say I want to do the laundry, just not right now, you're just changing the verbiage a little bit. So the truth is that you don't actually want a ton of laundry. You don't want to wade through your house a bunch of dirty clothes. That's not what you want to do. You may not want to do laundry right then and there because you just got off work and you're tired, but ultimately you know you want to do the laundry, right? So it's just changing that mindset of like, oh, I should do it. Well, then you become a slave to the shoulds. Stop shooting on your life. So I love this card with the priestess coming up like that. She says there's a struggle in trusting your intuition fully, doubting yourself, feeling guilty for listening to your own guidance. In doing so, you're denying yourself the ability to navigate through your own life divinely guided. This also means if you are getting these hunches and you're just choosing not to share them with people, that's also a disservice because there's so many people that could benefit from your sharing of your intuitive insights. Maybe you have somebody that was always afraid to share their intuition because they thought they would be ridiculed, and here you are sharing your intuition like the beautiful light that you are. And it doesn't seem as scary now. You see how you can kind of get that momentum and building with other lights and getting that beautiful knowledge of illumination from within and not from an external source. Which brings me to our next card here of the Five of Pentacles. Now, I really love this because this card had to be known on the unboxing, by the way, of this Moonchild Oracle, which was on a full moon. I did not plan that. That was divine timing. I only realized it after I did the unboxing of the Moonchild that it was done on the full moon. So how synchronistic is that? When we're going with the flow of divine timing and we're not in resistance, beautiful things can happen. If we can let go of that rigid logic, not completely. Nobody's saying to let go of raw logic and run willy-nilly into following your heart through the fields. I'm partially saying that because that is fun. But logic needs to be in check because logic can really, really, really put a stranglehold on your creative visions. So there's a balance with that, with logic. So this card begs the question, where do I place my security? Where have I placed my security in life? When I look at my bank account and I see the number, does that make me feel secure or does that make me feel insecure? When I look at my partner, my life partner, if I have one or if I don't, does that make me feel secure or does that make me feel insecure? You know, if you look at my children or if you look at my pets or if you look at my house or if you look at my car or if you look at my whatever the external thing is, does it bring you security? And what if it were to disappear tomorrow? Would you still feel secure? The Five of Pentacles, I really love this card and using the imagery because it's a journey into the center of yourself. It's a journey into the soul. It's a journey into peeling away the layers of the onions of the false self, the false identities. We think, oh, these thoughts of me not leaving my job because there's nothing better out there. That's true. That's me. And no, that's not you. And that's not true. If you were to tap into the true you, when you tap into the true you, your higher self never, ever, ever tells you anything of, you can't do anything better than that. That's the best you got. Spirit would never say that. Spirit would never say that. So you really have to question every single thought that comes into your mind. Is this a loving thought or is this a critical thought? Now, critical thinking is very good. I 100% recommend it. And when you're creating your life, you need critical thinking to have success. In balance with intuition. Again, we're going back to the heart because so many people have glorified the brain, logic, reason, so much to the point that they have forgotten about the true magic and the ability and the power of the heart and the intuition. Basically, the essence of being a magical human being. We've only identified with the very limited aspect of ourselves. So now it's time to shift that and start having this security. Stop being outside of us. Stop holding that security in money. Stop holding that security even in family. Even in family. You think, oh, my family's going to be there for me. Oh, my sister, she's going to be there for me. Well, what if she's not? What if he's not? What if they're not? And it's not any bad thing to say on your family or circumstances or anything in your life, but there is that point where we need to have that security come from that true source within. And really, it's a maze work in your life. It's trial and error. It's falling down. It's getting back up to find that true wellspring of wealth within your own soul, within your own being. So when it's in reverse, we are finding that. We are discovering that security isn't out there. I mean, even when you put security in your health, what would you do? Where does the security come from if anything that you've put security in your external world were to go away tomorrow? Where do you find that peace? Very, very, very powerful. And the 5 is always one of challenge. So there's a bit of a challenge there in the physical world of really finding our security. So go a little bit deeper into the 5 of Pentacles. So it's worry that you don't have enough, leading to feelings of unworthiness, undeservedness of abundance. And this can happen when you're ignoring your intuition. You're saying, no intuition, you don't know. My ego knows better than you. My ego, this is just silly flim-flam. My ego knows so much better than you. But think about it. Your ego got you this far in life. And the best things that have ever happened to you had nothing to do with your brain. It had nothing to do with your ego. It had nothing to do with any of that. The best things and the best gifts that ever happened to you in your life just came to you. You can't even figure out how it happened. It just, it came. And the best things in life were never bought. They were given to you. It was free. Your talents and your abilities, that was free, given to you by Source. You know, the love that somebody else gives to you, you can't make another person love you. That's given freely. True unconditional love. So I really love the 5 of Pentacles. It offers us a really great lesson in life. And it's knowing that when you are on your soul's path and when you are pursuing your calling, the universe will provide for you. And that's true. It's not you against the world. It's you with the world, working with spirit, co-creating with spirit in your life. So next we have the King of Wands in reverse. So when the King of Wands shows up in reverse, to me, he's telling me we're very impatient for things to change. We're very impatient for our goals, passions, and dreams and spiritual desires to manifest. Where are they? Why aren't they here? What's taking them so long? And also, the King of Wands has a propensity to overshoot his goals, have too high of expectations on himself. Expectations that are not setting him up for success, they kind of set him up for failure. Like the quotas that managers have to reach year over year. Once they reach their first year, great, good job, here's your bonus, now double that. That is crazy to think about, being that they had to kill themselves for that whole entire year and they barely scraped through by their skin of their teeth to get that number. And then management's like, great, do it 2 times over. So that is almost like setting yourself up for burnout and exhaustion. But King of Wands is more about having these passionate desires and them just not moving as fast as you want them to. So the King of Wands in reverse, you possess the traits of a transformative leader, but you're not quite ready to step into that role yet. You having not developed that sense of comfort within yourself yet, leading others towards their visions and goals. Maybe to look for the support for somebody else who has cultivated this talent to help you steer towards your goal while you're learning at the same time, kind of like on-the-job training from a mentor. This is suggesting if you don't feel like you have those leadership skills. But also, he represents being overly aggressive and arrogant in the pursuit of his goals, disregarding other circumstances, pretty much anything, because you're like a steamroller. You're like, I don't care, I need to get this thing, I'm gonna force it, I'm gonna move hell and heaven and earth and high waters and whatever to get to my thing. I'm going to sacrifice myself, I'm going to skip meals, I'm going to just do my nose to the grindstone. And that doesn't necessarily work. It's warning against unrealistic expectations of yourself and others by being highly ambitious, possibly setting yourself up for failure by setting your goals significantly out of reach and then pushing yourself to reach such attainable goals. Maybe pressing forward in an out of balanced way. So this is what this is ultimately saying. This is out of balance when the cards are in reverse. It means you possess all of the energies when they're right side up, but when they're in reverse, there's some adjusting that needs to be made. But you may be pressing forward in an out of balanced way, possible disregarding of others or even yourself to meet the needs of your goals. Slow down and proceed forward in a balanced leader-like way with grace. And I do believe that when we do that, we are working on our life's goal and our life's mission here with the 8 of Pentacles. We are now honing our craft. We are now moving into mastery. Now, I also want to point out that we have the 8 of Pentacles. And the 8, of course, the peak of the Lionsgate portal is on the 8th of August. And the 8th is a sign of infinity, as we know, which to me represents infinite possibility. So to the person that says, I can't quit my job, there's no other better job out there, that is a limiting belief that is not suiting you, because your source would say there's a vast plethora of opportunities awaiting you, and you are going to like more than one. And this isn't your only answer. And as vast as our galaxy is, you believe that this job is the only one you can do and the only one you were ever born to do because that is your only skill in life? No. I respectfully disagree with that line of thought. So the 8 of Pentacles is honing and mastering yourself. This is the physical world. The Pentacles represent the physical world, school, relationships, money, finances, health. You are mastering that. You are working on your skill. And this is, it's mastery. It's one of the mastery cards. I'm going to get a little bit deeper into that to get a little more insight. And I love that it's right side up, guys. It's right side up. So it's apprenticeship. It's honing your skills. It's mastery. It's diligence and hard work. And that was one of the recommendations we got from the astrologer, is this is a time period of diligence and holding on to that passionate belief and not giving up, not overcommitting yourself and setting goals that are too high, but learning how to pace yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting that things are always working out for you. You are moving in a direction that is in your highest good when you choose to work with creation and source instead of it's me against the world. Nobody's going to help me. Nobody cares about me. Nobody's going to care about my problems. Nobody's going to pay my bills. That's wrong. That's your ego talking to you. There are many people that care about you in the physical world, and there are many non-physical, benevolent entities ready and available to help you in leagues. And all you need to do is ask and open that up for benevolent help for your highest good. So 8 is just that refinement. It's further education. Maybe you go to school, maybe you start learning about intuition, maybe you take an intuition class, maybe, but you are furthering your knowledge in your passions, in your skill, and you're forging forward. Keep doing what you are doing and it will lead to success. So whatever you're doing right now in life. So just to recap before we move on to the glyphs, what do we need to focus on to utilize these energies of the Lion's Gate opening for our greatest and highest good? Okay, focus on truly getting quiet, stilling the mind, and listening to your intuition. Differentiating when is it a toxic voice in my head as a thought, and when is it a helpful, nurturing voice? And learning to turn that other voice down. It's helpful, but not right now. We're in a healing stage where we need to retrain our brain. We need to update the software in our system called our brain. And that means we need to change the operating system and start instilling it with new beliefs. You instill your brain with new beliefs. Okay, I am choosing to believe that I create my own reality. I am choosing to believe that thoughts have energy, and like attracts like, and energy that is the same vibration will attract other energies of the same vibration. And whatever your beliefs are, when they're based in love and higher vibration, they can be in your highest good, and you're reprogramming your brain to your liking. You get to reprogram your brain to how you want to best operate and feel in this world, because I want to feel free in my world. I want to feel liberated. I want to feel creative. I want to feel secure. I want to feel loved. There are so many things, and you can just go off on that. So what do we need to focus on to utilize the energies of the Lion's Gate opening? Quieting the mind, listening to our intuition, balancing logic and reason in the heart, knowing where our security truly lies, going within to find our security, knowing that we are deserving, and that any voice that says that we are not deserving of this or that is part of the ego. And the King of Wands is telling us, slow your roll in your expectations. You're doing a fabulous job. You don't need to be a spiritual guru. You can just, you don't need to be Buddha incarnate is what I'm trying to say. You don't need to be Gandhi. You don't need to be the top of your field of whatever it is you're trying to get into. You just need to take the next baby step and keep moving and not judge it as that's not enough and that's not where I want to be and I wish it were more and I should have been here by now. No, that's all your ego. Whenever you go into time things, well, I should be, here we go, shooting on our lives again. I should be farther along. That's your ego. Because your ego says, well, I'm better than that and I don't want to look like I'm failing, so I need to be farther along. Well, that's baloney. You're exactly where you need to be because there were certain lessons you needed to learn and unprogram in your mind before you were able to let those go and embrace the new ones. It's a process. And I think we're doing really great, guys. Very excited. Very amazing cards for this. I love the 8 of Pentacles in the upright position. It's saying that we are moving towards mastery. We just are needing to just pace ourselves a little bit more and work with spirit, co-create with spirit instead of, It's just me alone, and there's really, Spirit doesn't know that I have bills to pay. Spirit's off in La La Land, and I'm here in reality. That couldn't be farther from the truth. Spirit is so intricately connected with you and your life and everything that you have to do, and all the needs and expectations that you have and you've placed on yourself is very, very aware. So don't ever believe that voice that says, oh, Spirit doesn't know how your life is truly like because they're off in heaven in La La Land somewhere. Like, no. Their mission is to help us in this human form, because we get so easily lost in being human and what we're being taught by societies and our government and our parents, which aren't always from the most balanced, highest perspective, right? So we're given these challenges for a reason, so that we can grow on this hero's journey and become the best versions of ourselves. Moving on to the Green Glyphs Oracle. Oh gosh, I love it so much. Okay, so with the snail, I feel like the snail is pretty obvious. We're getting, it's a rainbow trail. You don't have to have a racetrack to this life and what we're doing in advancement and whatever your project is that you are working on, because this reading is for whatever project you're wanting to move forward, or passion project, or whether it's self-improvement, or I want a better job, or I want a lover, or whatever it is. And this is talking about all of that. And this card to me denotes there is a rainbow and there is magic in going slow. There's a rainbow slime road in going slow and taking your time and tapping in and observing and looking at what's going on in the world and comparing it with the world that you see around you. Is it true? Is that true for you? Do you need to be there? Take your time, go within. You know, even when you feel pressed for time, it's always divine timing. And sometimes when we rush ahead, we make more of a headache for ourselves than if we were to just take it slow. We would have seen a lot of the pitfalls with the challenges that may be coming up. We may even get insight from our intuition on what we can expect. There's so much benefit on embodying this snail here, and he's showing it with his rainbow road here. And with the willow tree, I really get flexibility. Being flexible. Not being so harsh on ourselves, and allowing this grace of goodness and positive beams of rainbow light energy to flow and wash down upon us. I'll read to you a little bit of the book on the willow tree. It's the middle of spring, and you're walking through a blooming meadow as you come across a majestic willow tree. The sunlight spills through the cascading leaves, and you decide to sit under it. Peace washes over you, and so does your newfound appreciation for life. So this willow tree represents peace, appreciation, understanding, and spring. So I love this. It's almost as if you can imagine yourself meditating under this tree and really finding that golden insight you've been looking for. And with the hummingbird, I get joy. I get joy and freedom with the hummingbird, and being able to spread your wings and just delight in flight. I mean, look at this, how fast their wings go. 2 hummingbirds zip in front of your view. They're only there for a few seconds, but you catch their incandescent shimmer and murmur something to yourself about the beauty of the world. And as quickly as they came, they're gone. So this is a swiftness, a beautiful, sweet, magical sight. And sometimes intuition can be that. It's this tiny little hummingbird that comes in and says, hey, I think there might be more fun for you over here. And yeah, you might be just like, yeah, not today, I'm busy. I have to go to the bank, and I have to wash my car, and you know, we get so stuck in that logic mind. But these little moments of intuition where it's like, hey, maybe take a left, it might be fun. And then you take a left, and then it leads you on this wild goose chase that you never thought would ever happen. And then the most wonderful, magical things come from going left that you never, ever, ever would have thought of. Because your logical mind will never understand your intuition. If you're waiting for your logical mind to agree with you before you move forward in your intuitive and passionate pursuits, you will wait forever, because your mind will never agree with you. Your mind will never find logic in what you're doing. Because in spirituality, there isn't only logic. It's that great expansiveness. Sorry, I'm drifting. But I just love these little hummingbirds here. They do really encourage you to savor those sweet, fleeting moments in life and really expand on them and say, thank you, Spirit, for these beautiful hummingbirds. Please send me more. And for our 2 animal cards, we have here that will wrap up this reading. We have Moth Spirit, Surrender Now. And I like this beautiful, really red, vibrant, passionate card here. It really is reminiscent of the Leo energy and that passion energy and really going after what it is you're wanting. So we have the Moth Spirit, and it says, let me see if I can not drift. Moth Spirit asks, what is guiding you right now? Are you in alignment with Spirit, or pursuing something or someone with so much tenacity that it has become a compulsion or an addiction? So this is relating back to that King of Wands in reverse, that passion that doesn't feel like it's getting its outlet and you're just getting more irritated. So this is speaking a little bit to that. Are you so intoxicated by potential relationships or opportunities that you can't even think straight? Hard work and dedication are virtues, and love, of course, is a beautiful thing. However, when Moth Spirit appears, it is time to consider if you have gone over the edge in relentless pursuit. Workaholism, overeating, perfectionism, or addiction to certainty. This is one where I have a downfall. Addiction to certainty. And this time period that we're going into is anything but certainty. I think the only certainty we get in this time period is that everything is changing. That's the only certainty, is that if there is something, it's going to change. Because it is relaxing into the unknown and getting okay with embracing the unknown. So addiction to certainty, or even to a person, may be your current vice. The form of your addiction does not matter so much as awareness of the consequences of remaining persistent when moderation is needed. Let go of your excessive energy by channeling it into more than one direction. The fire burns hot, and you do not want to be engulfed by your passion to the exclusion of all other pursuits that matter to you. Now is a time for surrender and radical acceptance so that your drive does not cause you to flee or fight. Spirit wants you to release your need for certainty and control so that you can relax into a more balanced way of using your Moth Spirit energy. Banish the shoulds and musts so that you can enjoy what is as you allow for what might be. Spirit, I just really love it when I get reinforced by you, as we talked about the shoulds earlier, and this is Spirit saying, yes, shoulds, you are operating on somebody else's sovereignty. Make it your own sovereignty. You want to do those things. So this is your protection message from Moth Spirit. Moth Spirit can be intense. That's why you have this red color. And honesty about your own compulsive tendencies is needed right now. It is too easy to switch from one addiction to another. And that also includes scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on Twitter, scrolling on YouTube, when you have no intention in mind. Like, sure, you can do mindless scrolling. Give yourself a time limit. You know, okay, I'm only going to mindlessly scroll for 30 minutes. Sometimes people scroll to get inspiration. Sometimes people scroll to get knowledge. Sometimes people scroll to just because they're bored. Well, put a time limit on that so that you're not just mindlessly scrolling, distracting yourself from the discomfort of uncertainty and the thoughts and emotions that arise when you aren't single-mindedly pursuing a goal. Moth Spirit calls to you to practice moderation in all things and recognize when you think you are headed toward the light, but you're really headed into a fire that will cause burnout. Like a moth to a flame, right? Don't get so mesmerized by your passions that you lose sight of everything else in your life and you lose that balance, I feel like what it's saying. Why are you so resistant to letting up? Could you be avoiding difficult emotions you need to feel and release? Now is a time to do a fearless inventory so that your addictive tendencies can be toned down and rechanneled into enthusiastic activity in moderation. You are not a machine. Listen to Moth's spirit message that a change is needed to support your well-being. Maybe deep down you know you have become too attached to something and someone, so it is time to let go of this need to control the outcome and allow yourself to remember the many ways you want to channel your energy to relationships, to work, to giving to others and self-care, and to all other pursuits that you value. Ooh, that was a good one, guys. Oh my goodness. That one was a good one. I feel that one was very, very on point. As always, Spirit, you're always on point. You never fail to disappoint. I'm so blessed to be working in a conscious way with Spirit, because no matter if you're conscious of it or not, you're always working with Spirit in one way or another. And you can open that by consciously asking, I am open to divine guidance and help. I am open to benevolent help from my guides and Spirit. You can talk like that and you can receive more help. So let's see what our last card is today. Woo! We have the Snake Spirit. Time to heal. Time to shed your skin. Time to shed old patterns. Also notice that it's 5-5, the same as our 5 of Pentacles. Not the same, but the 5 anyway, which is that challenge card. Snake Spirit says it's time to heal. The snake also represents cycles. And when it's time to move on from a cycle. So let me bring this up close. All of us need healing at times, and when Snake Spirit appears, it is time to repair, renew, and replenish yourself and your vulnerable heart. Self-care and maintenance work are needed so that your vitality can rise. Give yourself the space to nourish your own well-being. Vulnerability is necessary for friendships and partnerships to work, which means all of us will have tender emotions at times. Be gentle with yourself and others now. Shed the past and step into a new way of being, for a vitality is rising within you. This might be a good time to honor the work you have done to heal, grow, and repair. Like we talked about before, you've come a long way since last year Lionsgate opening. It's important for you to acknowledge how far you've come, even if your ego wants to belittle the little baby steps that you took during that time and write it off as insignificant and, quote, not enough. Anytime you hear not enough, I am not enough, I'm not doing enough, that's coming from your ego. That's not coming from source. This might be a good time to honor the work you have done to heal and grow and repair, and repair any damage within you and within those you care about and within your community. Celebrate together how far all of you have come in your healing journey and all that you have created. Unburden yourself of anything that no longer supports wellness, prosperity, positive relationships, and well-being. Open the door for healing to occur. No matter how much you may have lost or how you have been disappointed, you are called by Snake Spirit to shed the past and practice radical self-acceptance now. Only by forgiving yourself can you move on, regardless of whether anyone else is ready for healing. When your tender new skin first becomes exposed, you may feel uncomfortable, vulnerable. Love yourself and remain vulnerable anyway. You have been weak, but now you are becoming strong and developing wisdom, and you will do better in the future. Snake Spirit reminds you that hearts can be so easily wounded. Apologies and amends go a long way. Self-forgiveness for your role in what happened can help heal. Remember, it is the one who has been wounded who often has the greatest power to help others heal. And that is so very true. It's often that Not saying anybody has to be a martyr, but it's often that Joan of Arc type of figure that allows everybody else to really open their heart chakras up to allow for healing. So I really love that today that we had for you. What is it that we need to focus on in order to utilize the energies of the Lion's Gate opening for our greatest and highest good? Tapping into our intuition, taking that time to really slow down and listen to our intuition and what we're being guided to do. Learning our relationship with the spirit world. What does our relationship with the spirit look like? Where do we get that security? Is it in physical form? Did we find it within ourselves? Are we pushing ourselves too hard with too many expectations on ourselves and others, willing to steamroll at any cost to get to our goal because we think, if I can just get to my goal, then everything will be okay. But what if the whole point of you getting to your goal is the journey? What if the journey was the most important part of your goal? What if the goal had 10% to do with the becoming of you? It was the journey. It was never the final destination. It was the journey that comprised the biggest lessons, the biggest growth, the biggest fulfillment. So that's what I feel like this is saying, because we are working towards mastery, self-mastery over our skills. We're honing them. And we may be going through harsh times with this intense energy, and recognizing addictions and recognizing how we push ourselves like that. And be willing to put your feet to the fire, to hold yourself accountable for spiritual development and evolution. Nobody else can do that for you. Nobody. Only you can. So I love that Spirit's not saying, why aren't you doing more? Spirit would never say that. Spirit's like, enjoy this path that you're on. Enjoy it. Take time to allow these golden lights, to the higher energies and frequencies, to shower down upon you, to receive this higher benevolent guidance, and to really take note of the fleeting joyful moments in our lives. And this also is a card of freedom for me. Joyful freedom. And be willing to shed old patterns, old thoughts, parts of yourself that are no longer working. Shed those. And when you're in the new skin phase of revealing your new skin, knowing that you're vulnerable, be okay. Know that you're secure. Know that you're safe. You're exactly where you need to be. You're on the right path. You're processing everything you need to. Tap into your intuition. You can trust it. Thank you for checking in today. It has been beautiful working with you. And as always, I get something beautiful out of this as well. Let me know if any of this resonated with you, if anything was specific to you. And let me know how you received this reading for the Lion's Gate opening. Thank you again, you guys, for checking in. I will leave the links of the decks I've used down in the description, and also the astrologer I get my information from. Her name is Bracha Goldsmith. She talked about the Lion's Gate opening a little bit, and that's about it. Thank you so much. Until we see each other next time, put any suggestions in the link box below of what you'd like to see next on my channel, and thanks for stopping by. Peace.